Hey guys, welcome. I'm looking for a buy entry. I want to see if price can move up here a little bit. Maybe if we can create like a bit of structure over here, if price can move up. Man, we're literally hovering right before the daily flips bullish. And we're seeing a lot of selling pressure too. Yes, Kelly. Usually it's when we're on the Discord, we wait till like maybe 55 minutes past. 55 minutes into this hourly. Then usually that's when I'm going to be starting the stream. Like now it's 2:56, so about 4 minutes before the London session here opens. Now I'm just considering whether to take a buy over here. It's literally right on the verge of flipping there on the daily to be bullish. Man, I feel like that's been happening so often of late, chat, if you've noticed. During this London session time specifically. Price is it's like always hovering here. It's always hovering here at 0.3040-ish. I'm gonna see how it looks. Let me see how it looks on the break. Okay. Yeah, man, price is selling. Loads of selling momentum. I got some clean range. What I would like to see is actually this 5-minute close in the next 2 minutes. And then have a candle break above this high over here to fill this range towards like 43.23. We got lovely clean range to the upside. I want to see at least a support to be formed. And I'm just monitoring it now. Sorry, I'm just monitoring it now to see how it's going to break. .38. It'll be right at 0.40. They're on the daily. The daily bias you'll see is gonna flip. We're literally on the fence. So it's like you could either wait for price to first play this area out. Alright? Or we could take, because it's gonna be the first inception of the buys. There haven't been really any buys yet. But the confluence we have for this is London Open. Yeah, this candle, let's see how this candle is going to create some form of resistance here. We'd like to see a new 5-minute open create a bottom wick. It would be much better if this 5-minute creates a resistance. Actually, in about 11 seconds over here. There we go. Resistance has been formed. Now this candle create a bottom wick like this. Pull up, re-break the highs, and then continue to skyrocket up. That's going to be the spring. See, we just got the new hourly open here. This is a London open. Hourly lows have been formed. Small gap on my broker. Alright guys, I got stuck in here. See, the daily is flipping. Daily bias is flipping. Man, right at the daily freaking trend, the daily bias now is turned back to waiting. I was hoping this would just follow through straight. It's not following through straight. Come on, Goldie. This is the second time, like even last week, I had a situation like this where it was right at that daily trend. Then we had to wait for it to actually break to see the trade play out. But, you know, I'm still under the impression that we're still like supposed to be having some bullish. Oh, man, this pullback here. Yeah, it's too volatile. Sellers are trying to use that as a liquidity grab. Their trade could be confirmed. It could still be it's still a confirmed entry, but the sellers are trying to use it as a liquidity grab. That's what they're trying to do. That's why they push it so hard like that. But you know, the direction is correct though, in terms of just the entry confirmation. Come on, Goldie, fly. Fly, I believe in you, Goldie. Man, so close to break even. So close for me to break even there. How much did we peak on that? About like, you know, 14 pips, but it didn't hit my break even target yet. See, it's like flipping. Pay attention to this. You see this right here? It's a very significant area, chat. Like, it's very, very significant. Very, very important area this is. Man, come on. Why are the sellers... I think the sellers are playing off the volume that we had earlier. So they went in for a deeper liquidity grab. Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out on that move. The sellers went in for a deeper liquidity grab. They're still playing off this volume. Like, I also don't understand why it's a pulling down that much too. Should see some sort of what is it called? Some sort of pullback to the upside by now. Nice. Entry was exactly at that London Open. That was the last shot for us for the longs. Because now if it starts breaking these lows, it's going to be like completely mixed bias at this point. This is literally the fringes of where we're going to see any sort of long PA. It needs to respect the zone here by 43.20. That's like the last wall for the buyers to get through. At this point, it's like... it's going to be mixed bias. We're down 0.30% now. Gold has already been up today from the London Open or Market Open about we almost got to 1% on the daily So the buyers have given back a lot of gains back towards like 0.30. Let's see, maybe it's stuck in a chop. Let's see what happens. This region here. Hey, good morning, Sadiq. You gotta close it. Oh, you don't like that SMA? Got the 1 minute, we got the 5 minute SMA there, but we had the other ones in our confluence, like 30, oh, like 15. I got the 15, yeah, but we came up against the 5 and the 1. I don't know, maybe we should just be waiting for that 40 to get to that 40%, because this is exactly like what happened last time too. It was on the fringes of like daily bias trending. Then it had the structure like it just created right now. And then when it broke on the second go, that's the one that ran. There's some really nice sell-offs too this morning. There was a really nice sell idea over here. I saw someone peep the reversal confirmation on that too. Who took the sell? No, someone was in a buy. So you took a buy over here and you noticed, you see what you said? Where is it? Oh yeah, BE on this one, it was giving me a hard time for real. Damn, selling off. Remember Vic saying your good trades shouldn't give you a hard time? That's exactly what you saw over here. You see this? Boom, triggered you in, got in consolidation. I was watching this. I wanted to take a sell at the break of these lows, but at the time I was looking for buys mainly, and I'm still kind of looking for those buys. So I missed out on the sell. Then this thing just broke and completely dumped. So very good risk management on your part. See, your good trade shouldn't give you a hard time. Managed it, very nice. Got a buy over here. You see, took a buy. Consolidated, give you a hard time. Price is directional right now. It is moving down. It's moving down. Since this move. Over here, this was actually the inception of the selling pressure that came in. Since this specific move, price has just been coming down. There's a nice little confirmation. I got the second one. There was another one that came after that. See, someone here got it. Nice. W. It says daily bias bearish. Oh, I think it's somewhere else. Yeah, this is... Wait, when was this? This was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So much volume. See today's outlook. Price consolidating. Break above. Clean range. To continue moving up. Break below. Come down. Market is in consolidation between the bearish order blocks. Holy. See, so the consol breakout played out, but it's playing out towards the downside. And that was a little bit of a fake out situation over there. And it played out. Oh my days. Goldie. Where are you running to? Holy. Just dumped like 56 pips. Daily is down to 0.20%. Yeah, they had to go in. They had to go in. The sellers here. What I could imagine happened was there was a higher chance price would sell off. I would not be surprised to see sellers create this is like a Trojan horse. Right? This is a Trojan horse. Remember, it came out first once. It came out first once, then it thought about selling off, right? But then it realized, oh, but we can get more people up here. All right, let's go back up. Then it gave a push. But the market is very intelligent, the market. It wouldn't give enough of a push for you to necessarily be able to secure something. It just knows how to balance, man. I don't know how to explain it, but it knows how to balance. It knows the right amount to push, so you don't manage and you don't secure anything, so that can happen. It tried it once. I said, "Nah, we can get more orders," so I pushed it up again. Yeah, not even like 16 pips. Because there's a fine balance to it, you know? Like, let's say, for example, if you go break even at like 10 pips, maybe if you're going to sample size that data, you're going to realize most of the time you're coming out of break even, and having winning trades become like break even trades, right? Then you have to extend it 11 pips, 12 pips. You got to experiment 13 pips, 14 pips. There's a balance. And at some point, you get into a corner, the market, and you get yourself into a corner also based off your strategy, your entry confirmations, and all of that stuff. That, you know, that's the thing about refinement. That's the thing about backtesting, is you're always kind of backing your strategy into a corner, right? So you can eliminate all the possible things that like, you can study all the possible things you can study, because at the end of the day, markets only move up, down, and sideways. So you have to be a bit you have to really pay attention to those nuanced details most people like forget about. But yeah, it's very intelligent, man. Did you guys see your trading view recap? Let's see. I was kind of going through it this morning. I didn't manage to completely go through it. FXCM, your trading home base this year, the brightest star in your trading verse. You explored 17 assets from this exchange. Yeah, that was good. Forex market was your main mission zone. That's 46% of all your symbols. It's a candlestick chart. Your favorite way to read the stars of the market this year. Yes, sir. Candlesticks. If you can't read candles, you can't trade. GJ was your symbol of the year. You've opened it more than all others. Interesting. 2083 symbol changes. Your trading journey took many turns, but it all began with one symbol. XAUUSD. Let's go. So this is my total time in trading verse. I got 286 days. And that's Earth time. On Chartara, that's like 7 years. On Chartara, so interesting. 7 years on Chartara. This year, your trading journey started on Jan 1st. That's when your epic mission began. Let's see how far you've come. Non-stop exploration streak, 35 days. Every day you show up adds another mark to your explorer's path. Oh, non-stop exploration streak. Damn, 35? Alright, alright. Start loading, planets aligning. Market's kind of volatile today. Looks like it's just mainly selling. See, planet of super charts. Chartara. Oh, okay, I get it now. I get it now. So Chartara is a planet. So 286 days on Earth days in Chartara is 7 years. That's Techoid. It's Evening Alert Creator. Watching stars or charts. 471 alerts flared across your skies at a time. Pinera. Here be the wizards. This is where we live. Look, the Matrix. It's a Matrix planet. December. Your coding supernova. Your most active month. Really? December. My most active month. This was your brightest point in the Pine Galaxy when you added indicators 233 times. December. What is that? Vox Terra. They control who the Vox control the universe. Alright, we're going to the finale, right, guys? This is a finale. This year, you unlocked 4 planets. Stand by, Explorer. Your cosmic title is ready to be unveiled. See what the cosmic title is? Drum roll. Your 2025 title is Voice Conductor from Vox Terra Horizon. Let's go. What is it? Voice Conductor from Vox Terra Horizon. Alright. What a year, huh? Roll the credits. Okay. Awesome. Oh, so yeah, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving because man, there's just so much volume in here. It's crazy. See, it's still moving down. Damn. Sometimes you just got to be on the right side of the market, you know. It's not even about like getting the entry confirmation, but it's just being on the right side. So you see, like, for example, this area over here also got faked out, but at least they got a risk management model. They could have reduced their risk on this. And then same thing happened over here. See, a break and then it fakes out, because it doesn't matter what direction. It doesn't matter how good that you think the trade is. It's the market's direction. It's already picked a side. So if it's selling, right? So you just have to wait. That's why you don't like force biases. Because if you take another buy, if you took a buy here, losing trade, buy here, losing trade, you know, buy anywhere else, losing trade. But the sellers are actually the ones which are playing out beautifully. Little sell over here played out. Do I see NZD/USD chart in the top corner? Don't know. Morning, bro. Coming all the way from SA. Morning, morning. What website name is that? It's TradingView. When you open up TradingView, that's what they show you. It's still consistency. Consistency. That was my first buy here. My previous 3 trades were sells. Oh, actually, I held on to that trade a bit longer than I should have too. I didn't want to let it go. Oh, TradingView tab. NZD/USD? No, this was from, yeah, I guess that was from yesterday. Nvidia is second on the leaderboard. This year, I think we got gold at the top. We got Nvidia. I think then we got silver. Then we have Google. Then we have Apple. Oh, and Elon Musk finally became the first guy to reach 600 billion net worth. Oh, 600 billion. Wow, weren't the Rothschilds and Rockefellers like worth trillions or something like that though? But that's what they say anyway. Elon Musk has cracked 600B. Same color t-shirt. What's your text on DXY in confluence with gold? Yeah, it's pretty good. You can use that. But it's not something you're going to use on intraday trading. Maybe if you're a higher time frame trader. See here, Elon Musk wealth has soared past 600 billion. He is now worth double the next richest person alive, Google's co-founder Larry Page. Elon just woke up 168 billion richer. Even as the wealthiest man in the world, he's still setting new records and raising the bar for ultra wealthy looks like. Up like Elon Musk. I only ever see this guy either wearing suits or like a really plain t-shirt. Really plain casual. When it comes to like casual dressing. Really plain casual clothes. He's like the guy from Billions. Axelrod. Yeah, but that's sick. Tesla stock went up. Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, Tesla to the moon. Yeah, look at this, man. Like when you invest in stocks, you're gonna invest in people. So see, Elon is doing good. We want to see Elon do good, right? If you're in Tesla and you have stocks, and now it's heading towards like 500 psychological. It's insane. Like towards the end of the year over here, we're getting loads of volume, a lot of plays, a lot of things actually happening towards the end of the year here. Elon became he cracked 600 billion towards the end of the year. Come on now. Hey, tuning in from Kenya, can I join the trade or is it gone for now? Yeah, man, like the selling, there's a lot of sell trades, accumulation breaks, but we're not getting the buys yet. You know, we've been waiting for daily buys to flip here. Because right now it's kind of like it's selling bias, but at the same time, there's no bias because the daily is only up 0.29%. At least for me, at least, you know, it's mixed. Today we have a shark, I feel it. I feel like it's just directional, right? It's just moving down, that's all it is. It's being on the right side of it. Of course, if you're on the wrong side of it like I was, then you get a losing trade. Well, there's a pesky shark over here though. Didn't even allow for a little 16 pips. Oh, pesky little shark. Money talks, wealth whispers. The wealthiest ones are incognito. That's true. That's true. If you make a lot of money, you're 100% not letting people know. If you're worth like, let's say, $1 trillion. You're a trillionaire. There's nothing to gain from letting people know how much money you make. There's never an upside to that. Unless you're just rich. You know, there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Rich people can show, right? Because they're just rich. They're not like ultra wealthy. Fine, they could have like Bugattis. They could have even a PJ. They're just really rich, right? But they got a lot more to lose if you're like stupidly wealthy. Of course, being rich is already quite good. That's already quite wealthy, to be honest. But I think there's just different levels to it. You know, like if you've never seen, let's say, if you've never seen how much in your bank account, you know, you get used to a certain number in your bank account. But like, there's definitely different levels to this whole wealth game. For some people, even making $500 a month is considered for the middle class, which is insane. Also depends on what country you live in. Like some people are quite happy with like 4K, 5K, 7, 8K a month. That's also for them like really nice. But now imagine a guy who's making $10,000 a day compared to a guy who's now making $50,000 a day. You know, there's a whole different ball game. The way you operate, the way everything that you do is just going to be completely different. Comex gold futures bullish setup remains intact. Daily chart shows. Have you ever wondered, like, also people on Bitcoin? There's so many people who, like, if you've ever gone to P2P trading on cryptocurrencies, you're usually gonna see guys there who are trading lots of volume, right? And you wonder, like, who are these guys? How are they trading this much volume? Like, you can literally ask them for unlimited withdrawals. But you see, these people, if you knew who they were in their personal lives, they're making so much money that they need ways to move the money, right? They need ways to keep moving the money. So, you know, they look at things like cryptocurrencies, and then they kind of become like a bank over there, where you gotta need like a withdrawal, then they're like an ATM, you know? They're gonna facilitate that withdrawal for you and just keep the money moving. It becomes almost a burden. That's how I look at it. It's almost, because you can't even spend it now because you have to worry about how to manage it, right? Spending it is like the least of your concerns. Think about it like this, right? Whenever you play like a video game, in the beginning it's fine, right? Grinding the game, you're gonna start off like with nothing, right? But then like let's say you got some cheat codes and then you get your character everything that he ever wanted. You get a car, the house, and everything. It ceases to be as interesting. The interesting part is in the grind. It's in the struggle. But if you're going to use cheat codes from the very start, then it's not as interesting. You become a little bit more docile to it, to the whole thing. Don't even think about spending it. Even the government begging you if we get rich. Yeah, exactly. That's why banks also, you know, they're going to give government loans and then the government gives it back plus interest. Banks and governments have a very good relationship. You know, that's why it's the ultimate goal is to be a bank, because a bank has a lot of the privileges, especially as for institutions. Like I think the ultimate goal is also like to become sort of like a bank, right? That's usually the pathway. Even if you look at companies like Binance, you know, Binance started giving out like some time ago credit cards. So they gave out credit cards to their consumers. So it took the bank route because they had so much money. And that's why like so many people in America have credit cards and they have like credit scores, right? Because the American government has so much money. So you see, you gotta like find ways to facilitate like some movement. Otherwise, you know, money, it's not a good worker. So if you just leave it like that, then it just depreciates. So it needs to flow. And that's why now you start digging into like deeper things like corruption. You start digging into drug cartels and pharmaceutical companies. And you start putting the pieces together. The more knowledge you have, you start to realize, damn, maybe life is not this linear thing where, you know, people think, oh, there's a government and they're here for our interests. And like things are so bureaucratic and all. And like everybody's following the rules. Man, only at the lower levels. That's what I say. Because I know people like that. And I know it's like, it's a way of thinking I've never been very interested in. And those people are actually very difficult people to talk to because they can't get outside of a box. You tell them one thing and they say, oh no, but the government said this. Oh no, but the TV said this. Let's see, more money, more problems. What does this guy say? I don't want peace. I want problems. Yeah, give me the problems. I don't want peace. I want problems. More money, more problems. The Matrix. Yeah, the Matrix. You start digging into the Matrix. Target of gold by this week. Yeah, so target on gold is gonna be 4,400-ish. Yeah, 4,400. That's our target right here, 4,400. So I still think we're on the way up, chat. We should still be moving up on gold. This is like a crazy retracement. I don't even understand it myself because like we keep coming up here and struggling. For what reason? I don't know. We got one wick, another wick, another wick, another wick. The only thing I can say maybe is this jobs data. Might not be as convincing as people want them to be because we had an NFP yesterday and we had some folders come up. And I think we also still have a few more folders. Let's see. Today we have CPI. Tomorrow we have official bank rate. That's for the pound though. Unemployment claims, that's the main thing. Unemployment claims tomorrow. And then on Friday we have retail sales for the pound. So I think, you know, it's like it might be a case of let's actually see what happened with NFP. Non-farm employment change. Damn, it was an orange folder? I haven't really seen that before, I guess. NFP was changed to an orange folder. Well, then what the hell happened here yesterday? Remember our forecast was like 50K? They removed the forecast. So they revised the previous from 119 to 108. They removed the forecast. And then we got neutral numbers. How is that even neutral at negative 105K? Because it still decreased from 108K to the negatives. Man, that's a shit show. That was a shit show yesterday. And then the orange folder got changed. I mean, red folder got changed to orange. Yeah, I think the market might be finding this like some kind of a mixed signal, you know? kind of a mixed signal there. Which chart do you use TradingView for copper? FXCM? I don't know. I don't trade copper, sir.
We don't do that here.
See, silver tops $65 for first time. Gold firms as US unemployment rate climbs. Silver passed the $65 per ounce mark for the first time on Wednesday, while gold climbed higher after US jobs data showed a softening labor market, rekindling expectations of further rate cuts next year, and boosted demand for precious metal. There is a major short squeeze speculative trade happening on silver, and we're not seeing the supply side responding the way it should have after the US added silver to critical minerals list. See, every country planning to enter the data center AI space will need more of silver. Oh, that's also the reason why silver is moving up, eh? Every country planning to enter the data AI space will need more of silver, noting that current trends could push silver towards $70 in the near term. Wow, okay. Makes sense. The rally followed US data showing the unemployment rate rose to 4.6 in November, above Reuters poll forecast 4.4. See, investors now await US Consumer Price Index on Thursday and Personal Consumer Expenditures Index, the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge. Jerome Powell accompanying comments were perceived as less hawkish than expected. Less hawkish than expected. We were expecting him to be more hawkish. Traders still expect 2 cuts of 25 basis points each in 2026. Very nice. Man, come on, Goldie. What is this nonsense? This selling nonsense, you know? Let's just go for 4,400 already. It's probably, knowing gold, it's probably gonna do it during the Asia session. It's freaking Wednesday. It's not gonna make the moves now. It's gonna make, if it goes to all-time highs, it's most likely doing it when people are in bed. It's gonna happen during the Asia session. I know gold, like very mischievous, this one. We're probably not even gonna see it. What side are you using for them news? This is TradingView. And Forex Factory. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that again. I think I'll just be waiting for the daily buys to completely flip. That's the second time I've noticed that. I've just know all the time when it's on the fringes, it's usually not as good as if we can break that zone for the London session at least. Because the thing about the market is if you're getting one result, it's gonna keep happening. So the faster you are to adapt and change that, then the better it will be for your P&L. We'll wake up one day and gold tap 5,000. Yep. It's gonna do it. It's gonna do it all by itself. The Matrix, Neo. It's all around us. Why spread on XPT USD so large. I'm not sure what XPT is. Is that like a crypto? Against the other metals, it is because of volume. It could be. Volume could be the broker. When there's low volume, the spreads increase. So usually like on bank holidays or even sometimes when there's high volume, the spread increases. I mean, when there's high volume, the spread increases. So you're gonna see that happen during like before news events, for example. Well, most of the time, I guess it's just a broker. Kind of depends on the broker if you should just experiment. XPT is platinum. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't trade XPT. See if gold can start creating some new higher highs. I might try and break like this is a 43.18. Accumulation volume is slowing down here a bit. If you notice, candle wicks increasing, bodies getting smaller. XPT is 60.7 while futures 0.5 spread. What do you think about FX Ghani channel? I don't think about that channel, so I don't know. Go buys right now are crying like that crying song called by Steve Mosi. Yeah. And he was doing so well. Like when I woke up, I saw gold was up 0.90%. I was like, man, this simple buys. Today's gonna be a beautiful day. And then instead, we got sells. We got one sell. I was like, damn, okay. So I've missed this sell because I'm looking for buys. Then I just waited for the next one. I said, okay, beautiful, it's set up. If it doesn't break the highs this time and it's beautifully set up for a long, then I'm gonna take the sell. Then it sold off. Then I took the sell, made some money. And then like for the whole day, pulled up, it came back down. And it's just been moving down ever since then. Like it's just been going down like this. And we're still waiting to see when the actual buying pressure is coming in. You see, we just got a candlestick break above here. So we'll see if this one is the actual buy. It has not yet had any buy setups yet. Goldie's still been struggling. This is 0.0. We're back here by the fringes. This is like that cartoon Over the Hedge. Like how those animals got that really big hedge. And then over the hedge, you're going to have the paradise. Remember like when they're looking over the hedge and they're seeing the humans eating all that junk food? It looks like paradise to them. So we got like a hedge over here. We got to get over this to Valhalla. And then, daily bias should be changed back to bullish. And then price should be moving up. Let's see. It's at the fringes. Literally again at the fringes. You'll see it flip. It's a very important zone this is. This is where the buyers can take back a little bit of control, but the sellers don't want it. You see how the selling pressure is coming in? Sellers don't want it. Sellers did the buyers dirty though here. Like little Trojan horse, like to push it up a bit more before coming down. Because you might see a play like that where the sellers could actually get on the buyer side just to facilitate that move and then quickly like flip the position. That's our market psychology. That's how people take money from each other, the market makers. Yep, there we go. Just flip daily bullish. We're at the sacred resistance. Sacred zone over here. Oh, again. I wonder if they're going to be brave enough to push it up again to push it down. But there's no setup. You know, the condition here is slightly different. Because here there was a setup. Here there's no setup. This one is distributing from here. That's currently in a distribution. Right over here. And let's see actually how much did it even push for them? From here to here. They probably got the 16 though. Oh yeah, they got the 16. They got the 16. Let's say if it makes it difficult for them. If it's gonna come back to retest their entries. Let's see what happens in this candle. But this one I think has a better chance of playing out. Just mainly because it's at least having a little bit more PA. This was just like quick moves. Volatile quick moves. See what happens. Oh, it's gonna come. Take them out. Yeah, it looks like it got them out there at break even. It got them out there, BE. See, like when I trade, I'm trading also thinking about the other people, right? Because listen, I don't make money alone. There's no possible way that I can make money alone, right? I'm making money with other people because there's only one way you're gonna make money in the market is if you're consistent. Right? If you have a consistent profitable system, then people are getting in those same general places as you. They might be looking at it not exactly the same way, but they're gonna see like a similar idea over there. Right? So when you make money and you make it consistently, you're making it with other people too. So you know you can watch them on the sidelines and you can just watch it like a sport. You see, like that's why I said they've been put out of break even. That was the smartest thing for them. Whoever was still holding, they're gonna get whips. But at least this one gave them the option for break even. See, it's right here at that fringe. Just a sacred barrier over here. You can't see it. You can't see it. You know, some of these things you're not going to see unless someone points it out to you. Someone with a bit more experience. That you're not going to know. I can assure you this. I can assure you this. Nobody here in this stream knew about 0.40% psychological zone. Nobody. Someone has to point that shit out to you. Crowd entries and crowd exits are a real thing. Human psychology is a huge part of the market. Yes, sir. Human psychology is super important. You know, it's like dumping. It's holding that zone over there. As a swing trader, gold is set to drop. Check Fibonacci and 8 SMA. Oh, nice. But isn't the Fibonacci supposed to be used with the trend? Because like gold has been moving bullish. Wouldn't you want to be using Fibonacci with this bullish momentum more than with the bearish momentum? Because that's the idea, right? But anyway. People also use the Fibonacci's on these intraday trades like little swing lows and whatnot. But if you got a trending market condition, usually the Fib is going to be very nice. Waiting on German 40 until 10 a.m. Then if it doesn't come down for the day. The Germans are coming. Let's see, German 40. German 40 is up 0.30%. Oh man, look at this thing. Oh, you're waiting for this thing to sell? Monthly is chopping up a lot over there. You got some kind of a resistance over here, and you got support, consolidation, major consolidation. Monthly time frame is consolidating heavy, but I think it's consolidating to keep moving up. So this is going to be like a pause. This is point A. Once it starts breaking some highs, maybe with 2026, right? You can see German 40 distribute from this area over here. So you got accumulation zone. It's like taking a small little bus stop, you know? It's like a bus stop here. Look at this liquidity grabs down over here too. Massive liquidity grab. People are just buying this thing. Sells will only be sells if it breaks below like 23,000 over there. Maybe you can get a sell. But yeah, for the most part, this thing is moving up bullish. But on the intraday time frame, you could probably get away with a scalp. But you're gonna need a little market structure to the downside, I would say, because I mean overall, I guess it's still trying to push bullish. You had this accumulation just on this daily PA, little accumulation breakout, and it is trying to push up. Yeah, sometimes there's so strong pressure in one direction, like as much as we want the trade to be correct, and even if it's correct, it just can't play out because there's just not enough buyers. You understand? Like it's not that you took a bad trade, it's just that there's not enough orders to facilitate that move, right? So in a condition like this specifically, it's not over. You see, it's trying, but man, there's just nobody buying. Like sometimes you just need somebody to come in and lock it in, you know? You need someone to come in and lock it in, because it could be someone, even like an individual person, who makes that move play out for you. But like market will still come down to correct, but since you're a small little fish in the sea, you're just riding the wave, right? You're just riding the wave. So they're going to facilitate the wave for you. You're going to ride it, but they're still going to be waiting for something more. So I think it's quite important to know where you lie or where you stand as a trader in these markets. Like if you truly understand that, then you start playing the victim. One thing is you start playing the victim. You know, you get more knowledge about things, and then like the journey is more enjoyable at that point. Some people love to play the victim so much. They don't like taking responsibility of their actions. It's always somebody else's fault. It's a lot easier to blame people than it is to take accountability. And the scary thing is that becomes a habit. And that's something you take on with you for the rest of your life. And that means your whole life is going to be garbage, because all you do is blame people. Because people who just blame people, they never improve. There's no self-development. I know somebody like that. Somebody who, if they, for example, tripped. If you're walking with them and they tripped, they'll find something to blame. You know, they're going to blame you, or they're going to blame the rock, or they're going to blame something. All right, we're having a chance here at a... We're coming back up to the gates of heaven over here. Let's see now if we can get some access. So you see, we got this guy here, the guy from Lord of the Rings. You shall not pass. All right, let us pass. Let us pass. These are the sellers over here. You shall not pass. There's a daily bias. This is where we struggled last time too. Can we pass? I think you gotta beat him in a game of X and O's so we can pass. Oh. Did we win? I think we won. Open sesame. Expelliarmus. Well, we might fluctuate a bit though. Because that 5 minute, we got about, we have plenty of time for that 5 minute there. Oh, back to daily bias waiting. So let's trying to push it back again. But that 5 minute, you know, it's still got like 3 minutes here for it to close. There's no setup right now as well. It's just moving up. It's like trying to form this inverted head and shoulders here. Left shoulder, hair, right shoulder. Volume to keep moving up. Little accumulation here. That could be the fakie below. So it's trying to accumulate. But remember, like, this accumulation could also just be for the sellers. But it's trying to accumulate. At least we're getting volume in. So if it ends up breaking like these highs now, then it would have a little bit more of a setup if it breaks these highs by 43.20. At least you're getting the setup here with that daily flip. That daily bias flip. How many candlesticks does it normally take before pullback? There's no set number to it. You know, like even if you look at some instruments, like for example, look at the monthly time frame. There are some instruments which you would just be surprised how far they can just keep moving. I wouldn't say there's a set number to it, but got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullish candles here before the pullback. The pullback is eventually coming whenever you see candles move in a row like this. But the most important thing is look left on your left hand side and see where price currently is. Because if price is heading towards like a key resistance, there's a chance that pullbacks may be coming sooner. You see, like for example on gold, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish candles in a row. But if you look on your left hand side, you got a resistance. There's a higher chance pullbacks come at that resistance after filling up like some kind of a clean range. So yeah, anyway, at this point we're still the market is still bearish, but we're seeing a little bit of support being formed with potential buys above 43.20. Goldie is a bit range bound now after the move to the downside. So it needs to take a pause here. It needs to accumulate some orders. It's already had like so much movement, chat. Like literally from the pre-London time, gold has moved around 260 pips. You know, market can't just move V-shaped all the time. It can't just be doing this. So eventually, you know, it has to pause, especially after so much PA to the downside. And also not to mention the PA to the upside too. That was during the Asia now. See, so like Asia moved up, pre-London moved down, London Open is now moving sideways. It's accumulating orders here for the next move, maybe up to correct some of this range. But you see the way it did it, it's not the smoothest way that it came down. I'm sure it shaked out a lot of people, even for the sellers, whenever it pulls back this much. But it may still be looking to correct some of this though. That was a nasty grab here. Really good confluence that is, if you're looking for a sell. I just sold off. Then I did another one here. You see that little... this one kind of like took them out. You see what it did? Like, it's very intentional. See how I broke above this region here? And it swept these lows down by this point. So like how we swept those highs and then price reversed. It's the same kind of concept. It did it, but I did it with a bit more of a push. But this time it came to sweep these lows. But it knew it was just gonna range anyway. Right? You can see how it just came down. The way it came down over here. Boom. Took it out. Small even grab. Look at that like little cheeky grab over here too. See on that wick, really extended its leg a bit. I'm trying to squeeze you as much as possible. Because that broke that wick only by 3.8 pips. But imagine if you use like set 2 pip stop loss. Right? That means you only broke it by 1.8. 1.8 before it does something like this. Maybe it hits your target. Maybe you had your target up over here. So it give you a chance to break even. But if you didn't break even, then what happens? It comes down. It takes you out. You see, and then it hits your target. You probably experience this as well in your own strategies. The market is super sophisticated. It can do this, not just like this, but it will do it for everybody. How? I don't know. It's like some real alien shit over here. Because, man, I've been through so many strategies. And they all have certain things like that in common. Right? It's quite interesting. Sometimes it's forgiving though, you know. Sometimes it comes like this, but it doesn't break the wick. It will come right next to the wick and then fly and hit your take profit. But sometimes that act of just coming that close to your wick is sometimes enough for it. It's enough for it to trigger some people out. Like yesterday's trade, for example. It came so close to our stop loss and then it went straight into profit. So these things happen, you know. They happen. You have to pay attention to those things. Like whenever you're on the chart, you should treat it like a science experiment, like where everything is going to be very clinical and all the moves are very clinical. Don't treat it like something that's random, like you're kind of gambling, and you know, try and really pay attention to all the details. Because there's only a certain things, like, you know, some of this is randomness, right? Like if you don't know what necessarily you're looking for entry confirmations, it's just candles moving. It's candles moving until it stops being random when it gives an entry confirmation. From that point, you can start to look and dig in the variables a bit more. But like before that, like all that other movement, it's like it can be very random, right? And if you overanalyze, you can always find a reason. You can say there's a fair value gap over here, or like there's a support over there, and your support moved up. But yeah, once you have a strategy, all that just becomes noise, and you just focus on what you need to focus on when you get your entry to see what the variables play out as after the entry point. But you see, that's why trading is a journey, right? Because you have to first go through, oh, is there an FEG here? Maybe there's support there. Maybe there's a pivot point there. Maybe the Fibonacci there. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a point of control there. Maybe there's an imbalance there. Maybe there's a trend line there. That's the journey you're on. That's a journey you're going to go through. That's why it takes people time, because they're going to go through all of that. You know, they're going to go through all of that stuff. All that stuff, and man, that's gonna take you time. You know, like when I started trading, I didn't start trading like this immediately. I had to go through all of that. Literally, I used to trade the point of controls. I used to love the point of controls. I used to trade them. I used to love point of controls, the ones that used to happen during the Asia session, so I could try and catch some moves. For some reason, I used to like those Asia session point of controls. And at some point, I also did trade the pivot points, where you got the R1, R2, and then it just draws you like these levels that you can't see, or it's like automates it for you a bit. But at some point I used to trade the MACD as well. I used to like the MACD with the divergence confluence down over here, so I used to use that as well. Yeah, you gotta really go through a lot of things, but then you start to realize like all that's just literally noise once you start locking into a system that that works. It's all just noise, because some of you in the chat here have been only trading for maybe a few months, right? So there's definitely a lot of character development to go through, especially if you're doing it yourself. I did it myself for like 6 months. So then that's just a time where you go through a lot of things to see what works, what doesn't work. Because in the beginning, you think you're going to do it yourself, but you're not going to do it yourself. You're always going to need some kind of like a help. And trust me, I'm really good at doing things myself. I prefer to do things myself in most case scenarios, because I feel like I can do it more efficiently and much better if it's my idea, you know. But even then, I still needed to put my ego to the side and then also seek some bit of guidance here and there. But the good thing is majority of the groundwork is laid by you. I would say like majority of the work is like maybe 80% done by you, and then the other 20% is just extra facilitation to already the hard work that you're putting in. It's just like you're just putting a little bit extra from here to give you a bit more of an edge. But typically that is where you find your edge though. It's your edge is never found in the mass. It's never found in the majority, right? Your edge is always found in the minority. That's why it's called an edge as well. It's because like not everybody's gonna have an edge. So it's really taking that little extra step which makes you or gives you that edge that you need. You know, and edge is everything. Fuck, this thing just shocked me. I don't know why my equipment's been kind of like shocky. But my wall plugs are grounded, so it doesn't make any sense. Let's see, is my PC shocking? Nope. It's weird. Anybody know why that happens? I find it usually happens when my camera is on. No static in here either. Everything should be grounded, because the PC is not shocking. Check your home groundings. What do you mean my home groundings? It's a 3-pin plug, so it should be fine. That's weird. That's a sign of high vibration. It happens when we're locked in and there's a lot of shit going on. Alright, I think it stopped. I absorbed it. I took in the electricity. When you get a minute, please sweep through the Discord server. Oh man, we got rats again. Oh, this one. I just give you the role. I could give you the role like every time because I notice you're gonna see it a lot. Maybe I just give you the role after stream. Then at least you can just do it. But I don't know. Let's see. One message hidden from likely spammer. Yeah, Discord has a weird group of people who do these type of things. I don't even know like what the point of this is. Like, do people actually fall for this shit? Because they put a lot of work into it, like as if it actually works. But it's just the most ridiculous thing. What you get? Debate Wanderer of Voxterra Station. Hey, welcome aboard, sir, to planet Voxterra. I feel like they could have come up with better names, right? Like I didn't get mine, and also I don't get this. Debate Wanderer of Voxterra Station. I think they got bored towards the end and then just put like some chat GPT thingies over there. Got buys on demand. Nice one, nice one. Wow, look at that entry. 0 drawdown on this. Amazing. People are going to be hella bots in AI. I feel like people are be rare eventually on the internet. Yeah, that's true. That could also be the case, man. Those could be also like some kind of bots as well. Like there's a lot of like bots on the internet too. Like when it comes to views on videos and even views on live streams. Pretty sure some live streamers are going to be using some bots over here. Yeah, it might not be the case that there's many people as you think there are actually on the internet. A lot of that could be bots. Especially like on Instagram and these other social media platforms. At least like Goldie is finally holding daily bias there, finally bullish. It's kind of what we wanted to see. It's kind of what we needed to see. The price of first hold above the daily bias. All TradingView, most of the stuff is Indian programmer. Facts. One year for me, and lucky I found your channel on my first day in trading. Wow, first day, amazing. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna get really lucky to find in the beginning somebody who's gonna tell you a bit more about reading candles and managing your risk. It makes a big difference, like trust me. When it comes close to your stops and reverses, that's the market telling you it could end you. I want to see if I can got like a 5-minute resistance over here. I want to see if we can break above this high to keep moving up to fill this range. It's about 40 pips. But we still need to create a little bit more structure here. Hopefully there's still enough volume inside the market to make that happen, but I think if we can range here for a bit and then break, we could see that happen. Now I want to try catch a runner. Let's see if we can get a running trade here. This range again is about like 40 pips. Just think of it like a simulation, you know. I think that always helps. Like whenever we simulate and then we have like a situation like this. What is that? All right. Yeah, then we're like on the 1 minute. We're just waiting. We're waiting for some kind of a structure to build. See, okay, see, there's nothing over here. Candlestick. See, it's easier when you simulate because you can just go through it quickly. Well, you're doing it live now. You have to practice patience. You actually have to wait for the candlesticks to close. That's the only difference. But if you can simulate it, then you should be able to forward test it too. I see a lot of liquidity on the lows. Could this be a head and shoulders pattern? I see it struggling to continue up, and we got a change of character. You got a bit of a head and shoulders, right? You have left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Over here, it is trying to push up. It's slightly changing character a little bit. You can see it's creating new higher high here. Another higher high and another higher high. So we are, we are trying to keep it steady. Some people could maybe draw like a trend line there and anticipate a breakout to the downside. Maybe something like this. See if price can break below here and then maybe continue selling off, because we're still overall moving down. Well, at least as of today, we've been predominantly bearish. But I would be expecting at least some kind of retracement to the upside, because I'm still bullish in gold. Like, I also think a nice little retracement like this. Just need to get through this zone, It's such a difficult area over here. There on the daily. It's likely a pullback before heading down to reclaim London lows and Asia low just beyond 4,300. Yeah, if it comes down, then I'm not touching it, At that point, I have to wait till my next session. But if it pushes up, at least I can attempt to buy over here. Funny thing is, man, I haven't been able to find myself in a position to truly hold a trade. Like, the trades are running in a sense, but I don't know. I haven't been finding myself in those trades where it give you like some bumper clot, So I'm still looking for one. This is what I realized. Backtesting and forward testing just feels really different. Yeah, it does. But you just have to trick yourself into thinking that, obviously it's the same thing. As practice patience is the hardest skill in trading. Yes. Patience. That's why they say patience is a virtue. If you've ever heard that saying even before you knew about trading when you're growing up, your elders would always tell you that patience is a virtue. It's very difficult to be patient. And sometimes, patience can save you a lot of money. Right? Think about it this way. Let's say if you really want something badly, obviously you're willing to pay the price right there and then, correct? But if you had patience, you'd be willing to, take your time. You're going to negotiate. You're going to save a little bit of money. So patience is a virtue overall. You know what's going to help with your patience? One sec. patience, mental clarity. We're talking about Shilajit, I think yesterday on stream. So I got this thing. It's called Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha. It's gonna help you with your patience too. Really good stuff over here, and you don't need a lot of it, and it works. It's a superfood. It works. It's like Shilajit, but not really Shilajit. This is kind of different. You know, it's good over here for stress-free trades. It says best known for its stress-free properties, improved risk management techniques. Over here, it improves your cognitive health and memory. Ultimate anti-cancer plant. What else we got? Enhances physical endurance. Oh, and performance in men. Men, listen up. It says here that it enhances performance in men. Fights insomnia and enhances quality of sleep. Oh, you see this? This is for you swing traders over here. This is gonna help you sleep at night. You know, when you got those trades running in the middle of the night, it's gonna work. Oh, we're getting a setup coming in here soon. It's called ashwagandha. See if I can redeem myself on this. Because the first move was not an actual move. The first move was more of like, I knew that price struggles at 0.40%, but I just kind of wanted to see and just try the setup because the setup itself was clean. I'll still wait for price to create a support before breaking these highs though. The setup itself was clean, but I knew like this daily bias at least has to stay bullish for this session. It just needs to be there. We can't be taking it right underneath the 0.40%. We've already had this happen before. So for me, I'm willing to give this a shot. I think this is gonna be the genuine shot. And let's see if it can it's actually breaking below that support. It kind of needs to respect that support, or at least give us like an inverted head and shoulders like this and then break the highs. What else does it say here? Rich in antioxidants and boosts immunity. I don't think I could find it in my country. I'm sure you can, man. Ashwagandha. I'm sure you can. It's like what is it, like a root? Let's see if we get that fake out here. Oh, Lee. Sellers are back in. No, that's what you sent me. There was cinnamon. Oh, it's not cinnamon. That's a testosterone booster too. Are you looking at buy position? I was. Side effects will become emotionally numb. Yeah, the side effects of trading. Is that stuff really good for sleep and dreams? Yes. Sleep and dreams. I think I heard that African shamans use that to do interesting stuff with dreams. Definitely try it. Yeah, some African cultures, they like to eat parrotfish. And apparently when you eat a parrotfish, it's going to give you like very vivid dreams. There's actually a Vice documentary about this. You know, Hamilton's pharmacopoeia. He goes to one of these countries and he eats parrotfish, and he has like an intense dreams. That was during the golden ages of Vice, when we had, you know, Hamilton's pharmacopoeia. That was a really nice show. There's this scientist. Basically, he's a scientist, and he would go to like different tribes. He'd go to Amazon rainforest, try like a toad, or he was a scientist, but he would like try a lot of these different things, and it's actually a really good show. He always has some very interesting expressions. This guy over here. Looks like a Fabio. Looks like he could be a Portuguese. Portuguini. Looks Portuguini. It's a me, Mario. But I literally had a friend in uni who looked like this. Like very similar to this guy. And he also liked shrooms and stuff like that. But he's a coder now. Makes programs. In the Matrix. He helps code the Matrix. Down for the day? You got your German 40? Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm still waiting for my gold long over here. But it kind of like destroyed the structure, so I have to wait for something else. It's not looking as clean cut as before. But there's this range on the left-hand side that I think if we can break above, price can keep running. If it breaks above 43.24. It's like 40 pips. It's not bad. The only problem is like we surely have bottomed out by now as well. It feels like we bottomed out from the selling pressure as we're just ranging over here. I'm from India. Welcome, welcome. Do you just eat it straight or combine it with other food? I think you just put some, you put a little bit of it in water. Like a teaspoon or something. You don't need much of it. It's like shilajit. You know, when you're also taking shilajit, you use so little. But I always used to make the mistake of using too much. That's an Indian tree. It's a rather big accumulation here. Gonna need a solid resistance to be formed before the break. Which should actually be much better if we get price shoot up, come down, and then shoot up again. Hopefully we can just get a running trade. Like, I just want a trade which just goes straight into profit and just doesn't come back. Doesn't retest, doesn't do any of that. Eventually you get that trade. Right? You eventually get that trade. Like, for example, let's see here. Sellers had a pretty nice one. Oh, look at that, like 75 pips off that sell following that liquidity grab. These are the ones that, like, for the most part seems to be happening. It could push like maybe even like 30 pips. It usually starts to have a hard time there at around like 30 pips. At like 30 pips, then it starts to pull back up again. Then later on, it continues to move down. But we're looking for one even maybe like this. This was on from pre-London session time. That pushed down about like almost 40 pips. So as it pushed down 40 pips, the pullback was not very strong all the way back to entry. So you could still survive that pullback for the continuation. See, sometimes to see more profit, you have to see pullbacks. So you're going to see like 40 pips and then it's going to come back up. You know, but you definitely always manage your trade. You manage your risk. And then to see more, you have to see more come less. But we just want to see more. Right? Like that scene from Star Wars. When the guy is like this. We just want to see more. Till we're done. What happens if you put too much of that? It's kind of a sharp. It feels a little sharp. It's hard to explain, but it's not as nice, you know. It's like if you don't finesse a coffee properly, you know, it can feel a bit sharp. 1 to 2 got slipped a bit, so it ended up being 1 to what's that? 1 to 1.7. Oh, okay, I see. You got a bit of slippage there, yeah. We got 30 minutes up until that new hourly candle. This current hourly candle here hasn't necessarily had a move. Seems like it's having a reaction more off of that 8 SMA over there. See, we just got a small little kiss of death situation. Little dynamic resistance on that hourly candlestick. But as far as the hourly goes itself, it's more of like a doji, so it hasn't had any sort of movement yet. Even previous was a doji, but at least it had like some spikes. As you can see, it did spike down 80, 90 pips and then came back to close like a doji. This one hasn't really had any spikes yet. Kind of hoping to get the spike here. 43.23. On the 5-minute, can we take a buy now, or is it just a waiting game? Yeah, you have to ask yourself, like, why would you take a buy here on the 5-minute right underneath like resistance like this? You know, what would compel you to take a buy over here? Candle has not really shown any direction. Okay, so we've closed above resistance, but you have a small range here. If you're basing your trade off the 5-minute, the 5-minute is going to look at his buddy here and say, oh, yo, we got like a resistance, right? And then this candle still hasn't even broken the high of the previous candle. So that reduces the probability of any kind of move. I can see Bogdanov being called soon. Let's see if Bogdanov can come in with a pump it. What's the daily bias today? It's currently bullish, but it's not really so bullish. We're seeing some really strong selling pressure today. We want it to be bullish, but I think it's holding bullishness because we already hit 0.90% today throughout the Asia. That's why right now during London, it's not having that hard of a time to hold bullish bias. But at the same time, there's a lot of selling pressure. I would love for it to come lower than have a buy setup. Oh, okay. Yeah, we could actually have a scenario like that. That's true. But right now it's gone back to daily bias being waiting. You're right. That might be better because that would be safer, right? If we can get a buy entry even before the break of these highs, because that high will be a lot more obvious. But remember, guys, like you're catching the inception right now. It's not like gold has been moving crazy bullish, right? So this is literally just the beginning. This is it's still in the beginning phases. It's like 0.40% right now. This would be the first kind of buys. Usually the most ideal situations would already be like let's say a situation like this, where it's like price is already moving up, Yeah, it was already moving up. You could see the volume was already pushing up. You see it's a bit more directional. Like this. Volume is pushing up. And you're just looking for a break. Break for continuation. Like this. This price is already moving up bullish. Got a bit of like a 61 pip over there. Then it still came up after the retracement. But here it's like we come down. And then we broken sideways. And now this is the foundation to where the buys can really start getting built from. So it's a small detail. It makes a big difference in terms of risk appetite. There's still a daily FVG at 42.50, which lines up nicely with the trend line. Okay, that's perfect. Nice little confluence for buys. And Asia was straight pumping, yes. Straight pumps. Yeah, Benji. Benji still waiting for a buy setup. Little 1 or 2 banger. Hope it doesn't set up anything below here though, that's not as clear. Because if it sets up something and if that something is not as clear, then it could still be a distribution coming into this zone. And usually the market doesn't like leaving people in profits for that long. So if it taps this high, it might come down to take this out and then to continue moving up. Problem is this candle here closed like a doji. You see, it's created maybe some possible inconsistency. On different brokerages, that could be a bearish candle too. It's not as clean. But if this candle comes down, creates a support, then breaks these highs, and then just distributes, it could have been a play. What's my current lot size? That's not important. Just focus on the skill, like trust me, because you're gonna cash the same trade today, you might make $100. 5 years from now, you might make $10,000, and it's just the same thing. The only thing which will change is your lot sizing. Yeah, it's slowly building up. Well, we may be waiting for the hourly there. It's like we still have about 18 minutes. Building up, it's building up. It would be nice to see if the 5-minute candles can actually push up. Get a 5-minute closure here and then take the new 5-minute with a break above. But, you know, the closer we're inching towards this hourly candlestick closing, the more on edge it makes me feel about the setup. Because if it starts breaking here with the new hourly open, we still got to think about now the hourly lows, which have to be formed. You know, because the market is super intelligent, chat. Like for me personally, throughout my whole year or my whole 5 years of trading, I've noticed that if the market wants to put you in a very difficult spot, it could actually like hold artificially some some range like that, and then start breaking, let's say, on the last minute of the new hourly candle that's about to open up. And it's not a random thing. That doesn't happen by chance. It's just a way of either shaking out. It's either trying to shake you out of a profitable trade, or it's trying to invalidate the position. Whichever one of those two things, you find the result when the trade is over. But it's not a situation that you want to be in. Let's read some news over here. Gold rises on rate cut hopes. Geopolitical risks. Gold prices rose in expectations of further interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve next year. Gold is also supported by rising geopolitical risks after President Trump ordered a blockade of sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela. Meanwhile, silver soared to a new record. Candle just closed there in the last few seconds, literally the last few seconds, like a doji. Insane. See what I mean? Like in the last few seconds. On my broker, it actually has a doji candle here. This is slightly a bullish candle, and then the next candle just opened up and ripped. So this could be interesting as an early break. But I would wait for a bit more structure, maybe like right over here. And then anticipate like some kind of an early break. But don't overthink this position. If you're going into this trade with a lot of emotions and a lot of like expectations, then that's not trading, you're gambling. Don't overthink it. Because at the end of the day, you're either following a rule that's going to give you a certain outcome in the long run of it, or you're not. This is getting quite interesting. We need the candlestick to close like a strong bearish candle. But there's a chance that the breakout could be happening just a tad bit sooner here. It's better to come in later though. Yeah, if we can get a very strong pullback, that would be perfect. Got about like 7 seconds. The new hourly is opening up here in about 12 minutes. 12, 13. Remember, this hourly has still not yet had a move, right? It's still, if you look at the hourly time frame, it's still like a doji. It had a reaction off that hourly 8 SMA over there. I see what happened on the 5-minute candlestick, how it flipped and became a doji in the last few seconds. The hourly could be waiting for a similar thing to happen, where like it's gonna have its move towards the end of it. We don't do that over here. Are you gonna take a second trade? Yeah, I'm gonna take a second trade, because you know the thing about the first trade was I knew the probability of that, because it's something I already noticed from last week. It's usually a low probability when we're hovering right beneath that 0.40 on the London session. So today was just kind of like a confirmation for me. You know, it's a confirmation for me, like in this current market conditions, to just always wait for solid direction first. So I kind of want to give myself, you know, like a second chance for that now, because I know it. It's been at the back of my head, but now it's been solidified. So that's now a habit that I've entirely removed. Because before I was getting away with it, because usually when markets are trending, or like when there's some kind of a volume, you get away with it, right? But of late, I haven't been getting away with it. So we have to go back to defense mode. I think that, you know, there's always going to be a time to be more offensive and more defensive in the market. So I think right now it's the time for being more defensive. See if we can break above this high. See, I'm also going to wait for a break above this high instead of a break above this high, because the difference here is only a very small difference of 1.3 pips, but at least I get the extra confirmation. Like, one thing about me is I don't let the chat phase me. A lot of people are gonna let the chat phase them because, you know, maybe they're live streaming and trading live stream. For me, I don't let the chat phase me. I just need to do what I do. If I'm streaming or if I'm not streaming, I just have to do what I do. Of course, you know, you have a lot more things to think about when you're live streaming, but at the end of the day, as traders, we have to follow our rules. We just have to execute and imagine that we're just there by ourselves. Because, you know, trading is a lonely game. It's a very lonely game. So you have to follow your rules. You know, don't let like over analysis scare you out of positions. You know, people get talked out of trades a lot by your friends or whoever it is. You know, you shouldn't let that happen. Because what happens is you're going to find those trades play out. And when those trades play out, like, damn, why did I listen to this? Oh, are we gonna break? Should we wait for the candle to close? It's gonna close. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna close. All right, volume is starting to build up. Ooh, it keeps rejecting and pulling this area though on the 5 minute. But it's rejecting and pulling without any confirmations though. That's the difference. Right, here we go. Break above this high. All right, so I got stuck in there. Got nice little 1 minute SMAs. Five-minute SMAs there by just roughly around that break-even point. Come on, Goldie. Look at the M5 yucks. Yeah. We're trying to get the breakout. Because price hasn't moved yet. Like, the breakout is coming from this zone. The question is when it's coming. Because if it doesn't happen now, then that's it for me. That's it for me. That's it for this session. That means this session is just like a write off this session. Then you gotta go and come back the next session. Because it's already not showing us zero drawdown. What we typically like to see. The 5-minute might needs to close. Because once we get through resistance over here by around like 43.23, then it's like we got clean range on the left hand side. On the 5-minute for a potential running trade. Right over here. Once it gets above this resistance point. Got clean range for a running trade. So this is the inception of that move. So I'm just going to give it like a potential shot over here. Well, we got the new 5-minute here about to open up. The new 5-minute open. It's been crazy volatile. Come on, don't wick. Oh. Yeah, let's see. It's wicking quite a bit. This whole zone is kind of wicky. Come on, Goldie. No follow through. And there's a 5-minute bottom wick. New 5-minute candles just opened. Jeez, again with the wicks. On the highs there on the 5-minute. Broke below our 1-minute SMAs too. Yeah, it looks like, let's see. Maybe it's not a buy today. Maybe it might just sell off. The buy setups are just completely not working. Yeah, I'm out. Jeez, buy setups are not working today. Just keeps wicking. They're using more like liquidity grabs. Come on, Goldie. Time is this 4:51. Yeah, so I'm down for the day. About like 0.40%. I think that's where it stops. That's my third trade of the day over there. That's gonna give me, I think that's it. That's it for me. Call it a day here. It's wicking too much. Usually sometimes in market conditions like this, but setup was there, looked pretty good. Looks like we're just selling off. It might just be a selling day. There's a lot of selling pressure here. I think it will lower low. It may then can then higher low. Yeah, now I don't know. Now I don't know. If it hasn't moved by this point, then this is just a time where you just leave the charts. Because, you know, at this point, it's going to be a bit random, or you just look for sells. Because now it's showing like, man, the buys really are not working. They're just liquidity grabbing the buys. Like, you can see it happen right here too. It happened already once here. It happened a second time here. Now it's just happened a third time here. You see how crazy it's moving? Because the setup is there. Like, the setup has been executed. And that's why you see how crazy it moves. Like when the setup gets executed. Because it's a high confluence zone for these buys. It's the same zones basically I take for all these trades over here. You know what I mean? It's the same zone for all of these trades. So it's a high confluence area. And that's why some days if you come into the market and you overtrade a system, some days it works in your favor where that same thing happens inversely and you can have back-to-back trades like I think we had yesterday or the day before. But you got other days like this where it just happens back-to-back against you. So on days like this, the most important thing you have to do is manage your risk. You have to see where you're at for the day. If you've already taking a big loss for the day, then maybe, you know, you got to see if it's worth taking a third trade. So for me, it's still worth taking a third trade because coming out 0.40% negative on the day is still pretty much a W in my book. That only makes it easier for me to make it back the next day. But if I was already down like 2% and you're taking a third trade, then you're gonna be down 3%. Then, you know, then at that point it's like over trading, over risking. But yeah, it seems like that might be the case today. Just a little bit of liquidity grabs for the buyers. Man, look at that. It's like they're literally just waiting for those entry confirmations before pulling down like this. It's actually quite hilarious, right? Because we're coming at it from a point of understanding and not a point of we don't know entirely what's going on here. Trading without the narrative is like driving a car without mirrors. Yes, that's true. I agree with you. There's also a lot of narratives going on around here. There's not just one narrative. There's many narratives. But it's okay. It has to, what is that? To has a little betting sprint. Where's the FEG mob? They usually appear after loss. Yeah, the experts come out the barrows after that, typically. You got all the expert traders. No, but it is what it is, you know? It's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. Little bit of a loss every now and then, you know, it's good for the character development. As long as you know why it's happening, right? As long as you know the market condition that you're trading in and like how that also affects your probability of a winning trade or losing trade, then, you know, like, awesome. Because, you know, we're all looking at the same chart here, but I can't say with 100% certainty, even with explaining to you what I'm looking at, that if a certain person is going to truly understand, or if they're just going to assume that they could have made a better trade. You know, it's a big difference, because in hindsight, you're gonna see a lot of opportunities in hindsight. But when it comes to forward testing, it's a whole different ball game, correct? Because forward testing requires a little bit more execution. You have to be willing to actually now execute more on those ideas that you feel so confident about when you backtest or when you, you know, simulate. Hey, what's up, Alex? Good morning. Each day has its function, brother. Yes, sir. Today feels like it was more sells, because I only had one sell today, which was a winning trade, and I had 2 buys, which were losing trades. So it feels like it was definitely more of like a sell day. The funny thing is we're hovering around the daily bias. You see, now it's completely shifted the daily bias. So that was just a grab. That was just a grab there. Daily bias has now flipped back to waiting. So question is, like, where's the daily gonna close? It's like a lot of like selling territory here. But at the same time, we're overall in bullish environment. So if you're gonna read all the tabloids, if you're gonna just look at gold as a whole, it's overall a bullish environment. This is just a small little selling playground over here. And I think why the sellers are getting away with it too is because we're still in a time of waiting for that jobs data to come out. Like yesterday we had the NFP, which was shifted quite dramatically over there. What else do we got? I think today, what do we have today? Today we don't have much, but tomorrow we have unemployment claims and Gbpjpy retail sales. I still have a target of 30% for December. I'm at 19 right now. We have about 1.5 more weeks. It would be nice. See how many trades have I taken so far? Like 26. Yeah, but definitely I think we're out of the hard part though. I think the hardest part for me was in December, in the beginning of December here. Man, this whole time was brutal. Like literally none of my pre-London setups freaking worked in the whole of this period over here. Then that opened up nicely. You know, you just kept executing. You know, lost, break even. Opens up nicely over here. This is when we realized that price is hitting 20 pips. And then also pulling back quite a bit on these two moves. Otherwise, that would have been a whole W streak. I got 2 losses over here. Alright, Spartans. Just look for yourselves, I guess. No. I mean, as you said, this is science pattern. When London is sideways, probably NY has volume. If we held this range up until NY would be a good scenario for that. But as we are now in 5 a.m. Eastern, this is not even pre-NY. Pre-NY is going to be coming in like about an hour's time. So there's so much time over here. I don't think we're even going to play this range that much, but we'll see. We're already breaking it now. It's not much range to the downside either. Got like a 30-minute support over there. So the higher time frames also look kind of choppy to come down there. Isn't that wild, chat? Like, just insane. Look at these 2 wicks over here. That wick that shot above, then the same wick that shot above here. It's literally the same thing. Oh man, like sellers are very mischievous in the market. I don't typically see this. Like if you sample size that nature of, you know, breaking and then pulling back, I don't typically see that with the buyers. Like let's say if you take a sell position, I don't typically see that with the buyers doing that thing. Because it's also easier for sellers. Remember chat, there's more sellers in the market than buyers. So it's a lot easier and faster for them to do it. So I usually see that happen quite a lot with like selling pressure. How many hours do you stream? You know, sometimes I stream like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Also kind of depends on how long the setup takes to form. Would you be tempted to use smaller lot size for a second attempt at a trade since being a bit unusual today? Or is it discipline, same lot size? Yeah, it's just a matter of like, what's the point of a smaller lot size, you know? It's if it's not working, it's not working. Just come back the next session, or, you know, then you can use your normal lots on the next session or the next day. There's no point giving yourself like paper cuts or like small wins or small losses, you know? That's more of the ego talking. That's more of the ego wanting to be right than anything else. Because usually a good day will go something like this, you know? Like for me, typically a good day is like, you know, you just get W and a W. Simple. That's a good day. But if you get a W, a loss, and a loss, it's easier to tilt here because now you take the next trade and then you find yourself, you're adding on to the losing trades. Because usually what happens, if you even take a third trade on the W days, you have a higher probability to add on to the W days because, you know, price is more in your favor. So it's also a matter of like what the current market conditions are. Because most of the time people would not add on to a W day, right? Most people would like close a W day and say, awesome, I made some money today. But like, it's usually the losing days. People love to add on to losing days because of emotion. Very true. Had not thought it was ego. Yes, just ego. Trust me, the market's easy. Like, literally, I thought December was easy. Like, literally, December was so easy up until today. I was actually surprised, like, how all these trades were, like, playing out. And it's funny. It's on the day that I said the markets are getting too easy is the day that we had so many sharks. Like, if you watch my latest reel of when I took the sell position over here, and it's the day that we got freaking sharks. Tell you, man, market has a sense of humor. I don't know how it does it. I don't know how it does it. It's the same way when you set yourself a target, yeah? If you set yourself a target, the market has a way of you not making that target. You're trying to make like 10%, 5%. Let's see if this move can get corrected here. After that dump. Really big whip. But anyway, don't even think about correcting it. If you think that this is a setup and you want to take a buy, just forget about it. It's better that you miss it and it plays out than you take it and it loses. Okay, I'd like to see what happens. Let's see what happens when it breaks this wick over here. 43.18. It's so funny because the fake outs are happening literally at my confirmations. It's like somebody is watching the same thing. Remember, it could sometimes just be like some small individual players seeing that pattern. It literally happened on all my so far entry confirmations, but this one at least gave a BE. That one gave a BE, this one didn't, and then this one didn't. So it's like it's specifically looking for this setup over here because this is a very high the way I trade is very high confluence. It's a very high confluence entry. So that's why I'm curious to see now above 43.18. Because you see, the thing is, when you have a strategy and you have a way of replicating it, as I always say, you're going to be able to like really dig into it a little bit more better and like more refined. So you can see what's truly going on. But if you don't have that, then it's all just random, right? It's very easy for you to tell yourself, oh, I misread the bias, or oh, you know, I went against this. And it's very easy for you to overanalyze yourself into thinking you actually took a bad trade. That's why you have to be very clinical, right? You have your targets. Boom. Think of yourself like a fighter jet pilot. You know, you got a fighter jet pilot. This is where your eyes are like navigating. You know, you're like the Terminator. You're efficient. You know, this is where I'm hitting. This is where I'm hitting. This is where I'm hitting. And then the rest of it is just noise, right? It's just noise. Let's see, 43.18. Very curious. I wonder whoever this shark is here today, if it's even just one individual or whatever, if they would actually go for a grab. Because, you know, in theory, price shouldn't even break above 43.18 if it doesn't want to move up. It should respect this zone, break the lows, and move down instead. If for whatever direction that it breaks. It shouldn't be breaking the direction that it doesn't want to go. Of course, the market is not perfect, but like in a perfect experiment, that's what it's supposed to do. Only break the direction it wants to go. So let's see this. Let's see if this guy's getting grabbed here. They're going to be buyers above 43.18. Trust me. There's a really nice range over there. I'm sure the sellers are salivating right now. Look at these pesky buggers, right? Look, let's put a short position now and see what happens. Then this is the one that plays out. And that's the one that goes straight for the seller's stop loss. See, does it do 16 pips at least? Let's see. I should probably remove this from the screen before someone sells. Let's see, let's see. Ah, okay. Ah, here we go, here we go. There's Bogdanov. Where's Bogdanov? Come on, Bogdanov. Come on now. We see you. Just bring them down. Just bring them down. Just bring it down. You got it? It's like small little move over here. Yeah, about like 9 pips. It's kind of scary over there. It's not a proper enough push for a break even though. Like that would still be generally speaking too early to break even. Because usually if you sample size that enough times, you're going to get stopped out before it goes into profit. It needs a little breathing room. It definitely needs to push a bit more. But this was, how much did it peak there? About like 9. Come on, Bogdanov. Just give them a whip. Give them a whip. You might as well. Just one whip. Just one whip like this. Not a nice 1 minute candle. That's a low volume 1 minute candle. You see how it pulled up like that and closed like a doji? It's not typically a good sign, especially if it starts to rip back down. You've probably seen that pattern before somewhere. Or you're going to see like a candlestick create like a long wick like that. And then it's like, it's trying to push. Well, what do they call that? The hanging man. I think Japanese candlesticks call it the hanging man. The sellers are salivating, man. They're salivating today. They found a high confluence edge to fuck people, you see? You see what I mean, chat? Ah, yeah. Guys think I'm a bad trader when I take a loss, but you don't know, man. There's a way this trades. Every system has its own certain like. It's difficult to explain, but just stick to your system. Stick to if it works, just stick to it. Just stick to it. The only thing you have to change is your mindset to not overtrade, not over risk. You have to know when to fold them, just like Kenny Rogers says. You gotta know when to fold them. Because that's not worth it, you know. It's not worth the fight. This is not worth the fight. And you also gotta pick your battles correctly in trading. You know, you got some battles where it's a lot easier to win some battles. And then there are other battles which it's just not worth the fight, you know. You could win the battle, but, you know, why would you put yourself in a situation like that? It's kind of like also video gaming. Like, you remember, like when you're playing video games, you could be having a very nice streak. You're going around the map, you're killing people. But then you realize you've pushed too far. And there's too much of them spawning in now. And you're all alone. So you have to pick your battle. So you say, oh, okay, I'm not going to fight this guy. You start sliding all over the place and you start running backwards. So it's like you play a Trojan horse to like come back so they can push forward. Because you can't always just push. Sometimes you have to let them come. Right? Just like in fighting, just like in video games. You got to let them come because that weakens them. It gives you better momentum. And you got to choose your fights more clearly. Because typically even that drawdown, we shouldn't see any drawdown like that. We like to see just full-on distribution. Overtrade, psychology, patience. Every trade has his storyline. Yes. Every trade. So you gotta see, like, if you're gonna take a trade on the chart, you gotta see what happened. For example, here, you gotta analyze what happened here, what happened here, what happened here. And then you gotta do your calculations and say, when I start to forward test this in the long run, how lucky would I have been to catch this trade and avoid these ones here? You know, because sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes you have to look at it for what it is, because a lot of people think you can always somehow avoid or maybe cut your risk. But sometimes the best thing you could do is just to walk away. It's not about catching this one to make back this one. It's about learning when to walk away. That's the lesson. It's not how could I have caught this one if this one plays out. Hey Dip, thank you for the sub. So you always got to review. The most self-sabotaging thing you can do to yourself is trade and not review. But remember, it's got to hit at least 16 points. At least 16 points for people to actually break even. For these buyers over here to actually like, it needs to at least get up to here. Or now at least re-break, because it's created like some kind of a structure. Maybe it would need to re-break that structure at this point to at least give that chance of break even. It needs to at least re-break, because you see, if you're a buyer here and you're already thinking to yourself like it's giving you a hard time and you don't want the smoke. If you don't want the smoke and price has created structure here, that would be the next best point. Sometimes it gives it to you and sometimes obviously it doesn't give it to you. But yeah, in this situation looks like it gave. Now let's see if it goes for the ultimate 16. But, you know, very small chance. Yeah, I went for the 16, but very, very low probability people would have taken this one. Because you have to think, that same exact setup has failed 1, 2, 3 times. It's a very low chance people would have taken that one. And even if they did, that would be an overtrade. And it's most probably not worth the trade anymore. It's a very small chance because the structure is the same. Trust me, there's no luck in trading. There's no luck. The market only moves 3 directions. It either moves up, sideways, or bearish. Right? Maybe if you came in at this specific time, you get a bit lucky here. Let's say that you don't trade during this time, or you don't trade anywhere here, but you just showed up here. They got a nice little reversal confirmation too, I guess. Break of the support. Break of the accumulation. See that reversal play here? Break of key structure. Consolidated and then broke back above. It's the same thing that saved... Was it Ruben today? Let's go. Where is it here? Yeah, it's the same thing that saved Ruben today. You see, he said, remember Vic saying your good trades shouldn't give you a hard time? That's the thing that happened here. Break, consolidated his entry. And then beyond that point, it just completely melted. Like something like this, but this is happening more within the consolidation still, but it triggered the buyers. They got like a very wide stop loss. Oh, this is a break. Boom. Liquidity grabbed. Oh, it's a sell. Sell entry. Markets are creepy. The one you don't take is the one that works. Yeah, that's the one right there. I've officially reached year 2. From 2024 to 2025 of journaling, I documented every trade. And this is how the stats look. Learned a lot from Vic in the course 2026. Big up, boys. Hey, welcome, welcome. Let's go, Dale. Got a market cycle here, sir. Market cycle under your belt. Congratulations to everybody in the chat too who's got market cycle under their belt now as well. Market cycle. Let's get the belt. Let's get the belt. Man, when John Cena retired, I think my childhood retired with him. Can we see daily closing above 43.40? Oh man, I'm done for the day. Market's not paying me today. You know, I showed up and the market didn't. Well, it paid me, but it didn't pay me like for the full day. We still experienced some business expenses here today. So yeah, I'm done for the day. You ever see like those restaurant owners sometimes when the restaurant is busy, they're like more in the restaurant. They're more like looking, but when the restaurant's not so busy, it's they're done for the day. Gonna go and do something else for a bit. Gonna go and try some of this ashwagandha, best known for its stress-free properties. So we're gonna try and see if this actually works. Where's that? So net P&L, $148. Nice little reversal play though, but it also happened below the daily trend too. Yeah, Goldie needs to move. It needs to move from this whole region, because we gonna know if markets are a bit dangerous to trade as if you're seeing a lot of build up of wicks like this. So this whole zone needs to at least be cleared before you start seeing like proper clean PA. So that's how I was anticipating. If it was to at least start breaking above that resistance here on the 5-minute, then you have a pretty solid range for price to keep moving up. It's like 40 pips. That was the idea. We wanted to see this thing skyrocket. It's not the most optimal time for it too, because this 5 a.m. Eastern you don't typically expect it to do that, but entry confirmations came in here 10 minutes before new hourly open. But something like this could be cleared. Let's say a high probability of clearing this jump over here could be that 6 a.m. Eastern candle. That's going to open up in 35 minutes. That's pre-New York if you're trying to catch a runner. But it definitely needs to clear this zone. By the way, weed is better than ashwagandha. I don't like it. But some doctors will tell you that too. If you got problems, let's say if you have like some muscle pains or some kind of aches over there, sometimes the doctor's gonna ask if you ever tried weed. But you don't have to smoke it. You can microdose it and take like THC drops. You don't actually get high from it too, but it is still medicinal for sure. Yeah, if you get those THC drops. It's a plant, it's a plant, medicinal. Like if you have incense in your house, essential oils and that sort of thing, it's all coming from trees, from plants. They all have medicinal properties. You could probably try put some THC drops in a diffuser as you go to bed. Up for the day, but still lurking. Lurk away, sir. Appreciate you lurking here on the stream though. I saw a kiss of death situation on the full hour. I want gold buys, chat. Like, I feel like I haven't gotten what I wanted to get in December. In December, I wanted to get at least one bumper clock gold buy. So I've really been looking for these gold buys. The problem is, the bull run happened like so fast. The initial bull run here on Thursday, it just mopped up all the ranges literally in one Asia session. The main ranges from that video that we made that I wanted to catch a runner on. And the thing about holding sell runners, still need to adjust to the fact that sellers are in the market too. I'm down for the day with 100 on a $1,000 account. Ooh, what's that, like 10%? So that's a really big risk. You have to reduce those percentage over there. At least I'll say like maximum 5%. If you're trying to flip an account, just flip it with 5%. 5%. Don't go above that. Because your 5% is going to increase. When you hit a milestone, you're going to risk 5% of your milestone. So it's going to go up. So far, we've had the setups: 1 loss, break even, loss, win. So 2 losses, 1 BE, 1 win. As if you're looking for buys. If you're looking for sells, then obviously that's a different situation. You got 1 win here. This one didn't get triggered. You got 1 win here, potential win. This one didn't get triggered. This one didn't get triggered as well for the sells. So sells 1, potentially two W's on the sells with no buy manipulation, because it didn't trigger the sell and then fake the buyers. It was just doing the opposite. It was faking the buyers and triggering the sells. See another sell over here, but it would have been nicer if this created like a support right here before it broke. But that's currently in a sell distribution too. Tomorrow? Yeah, let's see tomorrow. Maybe get the buys tomorrow. It kind of reminds me of this meme over here. So you can get the volume up. This is literally me today. Maybe tomorrow I'll come back. Try again. Maybe next year, guys. We're buyers. That's literally the buyers today. That's a perfect meme to sum up the buyers. Only buyers who got something here during the Asia session. Again, gold, come on. Who's trading the Asia session? He was still sleeping during that time. That's when it's having its bull runs. That's also when it had the first bull run, was during the Asia session too. But no one's really on the charts during that time. I think like the pre-London, more people would be on the charts during the pre-London time. Because that's when I got in, like literally right here when the bull run was finished. That's when it actually started the sell-off. Looks like P. Diddy. Maybe next year. Try again. Yeah, I'm risking a lot, but only a really good setup, so gotta get it lower. Yeah, man, but even a really good setup can still fail if the market picks one certain direction. That's I guess the only thing that you have to be cautious about when you're doing that is you gotta wait for more. Let's say if you're looking for a really good setup, but you gotta wait for market structure to be moving in your direction. You see, like today, we're having market structure moving down, but you can still get a really good setup, but the weight is more towards the downside. So be cautious about that, because that's a thing that you're really looking for when you're risking some, like, 10% risk per trade. Is you need the weight of the market direction in your favor and confluence. Because right here, this is a really heavy weight for us buyers to actually like pull to go against this. Remember, like, this is just an indicator, but that indicator can still show your bullish bias when market structure is bearish, because Asia had moved up so much. So there's a difference when that's bullish when price is coming down compared to like if it's bullish when price is already moving up. So that's why you don't want to rely always too much on indicators, because you miss out on the price action. I was often watching the chart during Asia without trading. Is there a time window with Asia you recommend? I would say when both sessions open up, the Tokyo and Sydney session are both opened up, it's a lot better because you get better spreads. At that point, there's a lot more volume that comes in at that point. So just wait for those two sessions to open. You see, it's still selling pressure, chat. Like, the buys are short-lived. If you're looking for a sort of like a running trade, you're going to still have a better shot at these sells than buys currently. Oh, if it hits 88, you're down for December? I just got a little like a 5% trade. I'm down for December. If I can just get one bumper clot. But it might even be a sell. I'm looking for buys, but it might be a sell, because what we might even see happen is if we don't get this bull run follow through, and then tomorrow's daily candlestick starts to move like this, most likely we just get that continuation. Then at that point, I'll be willing to potentially look at holding some trades. Gold and silver playing a similar song. Except at least silver is still holy, silver's up 3.30%. Yeah, at least silver here is it's moving up. Moving up over here at all-time high silver. Look at Goldie, just a complete nut. Sheesh. Damn. Damn, Daniel. Y'all think the daily could flip? We don't have news today. That's a weird thing. There's no news. So this is all just normal price action. We need to push down at least like 80 more pips for the daily candle to flip, but it feels like it's heading for 4,300 over here. Yeah, that's basically the daily flip. 4302. Look at how we're coming into it. Still like 45 more pips. Got that sell 60 pips. I'm telling you, man, it's a sells. All the buys, it doesn't matter how good that buy setup is gonna be. It's a low probability you're gonna win a buy setup right now. As I said, sometimes you just have to be on the right side of the market trading. If you like oversimplify it, which obviously you can't do because then it's just 50-50. But if you oversimplify it, you just have to be on the right side of the market on that specific day, on that specific session, whether it's going to be moving up, whether it's going to be moving down. I think the daily wants that steeper bottom wick. It's got already a good enough bottom wick. It's a good visibility on that bottom wick. But yeah, anyway. Maybe it's coming down for 4,300 there. What did we peak at? 4340-ish. Got a nice little head and shoulders pattern in here too. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Accumulation break of the lows, distribution. Check GU shorts. The market is generally bullish, but at the moment there's not enough buyers / orders to push it out of the 5-minute bearish OB. We may need to drop down and pick up liquidity / orders sitting below 4308 or even as low as 4300. Yes. Exactly. We got to do that, sir. Stop loss tight. What do you think as a setup? I think you're on the right side of the market. Pretty good. As a setup, I'm not sure why you got in here. Let's see. I think, yeah, definitely this would have been the cleanup break right here. Definitely the cleanup break. Oh, let me see. Okay, so you did this. Oh, you got in here earlier. What time frame is this? It's on the 5-minute. Yeah, I don't really trade that on the 5-minute. Looking more at the 1-minute right now. Or like in general. I mean, it could play on the 5-minute because markets are fractal. But when you're getting stuck in and for breakouts specifically, you kind of want them to line up with the lower time frames. Because the lower time frames are going to give you the better entries. Come down towards support now. It's having small reaction off that support. A consolidation nation here from this wick now that we formed. It's about 186 pips. It's just extended the range. More. CBD drops, not THC. Oh, that's true. That's true. Because CBD, that's cannabinoid, and then THC is the thing that gets you high. So when they give you that medicinal, it doesn't really have the THC part. Called it earlier. Watch for the inducement up to push it down to around 4,300. Bounce up was a stops triggered below that last swing high. You see, you have to send in a chart. You got to send in a chart because what swing high? You know, on what time frame? 5-minute, 1-minute. You know, different swing highs. Because on a 5-minute, might be a wick. On a 1-minute, it's a resistance. So you got to send in a chart. See, like this wick over here could be a support on the 1-minute time frame sometimes. but you got to somehow call it out, like with actually like a chart, like quickly, not after it happens. Because it's a trick, it's a psychological trick that sometimes we happen to us, where we fall into this realm of thinking that we knew what was gonna happen, but you're not executing, you're just watching on the sidelines, and if it happens, it feels good that it happened, right? But you're not executing. There's a weird psychology thing that happens in trading. I don't know if like I'm doing so well to explain it, but sometimes you might have a strategy that you're working on, and you eliminate the false plays, the ones that didn't work out. You focus too much on the ones which are playing out, right? Because you're not actually like journaling it. You kind of hoping that it's gonna work out, you know. So you cloud your judgment, basically. You're clouding your judgment, because there's so many times where you're gonna see a strategy and you're gonna over believe in it, right? So it's sometimes like it can sometimes cloud your judgment a little bit, and you're gonna then in that process of doing that, you start to realize that you can't overtrade, because you start to realize like, okay, so yeah, okay, it can work, but it doesn't work if I overuse it. There's like anything in the market, like overused is not gonna work. It's nothing overused is gonna be profitable. Then you have to see, okay, now let's refine that even further and say, if I was able to predict this move, can you do that tomorrow? Whatever you just predict or called out right now, saying there's an inducement push to the upside, etc. Can that still be the same case tomorrow? Because tomorrow we might be bullish. Tomorrow we're going to be in a different space, a different point. Like like right now we're here today. This is our map. Tomorrow is going to be an entirely different map, right? And the day after that and the day after that. Can that consistency remain somewhat similar? And can you consistently have a result at that same time that you're meant to come to the chart? Now it's going to differentiate trading as a sort of a thing that passes you by to something that you're actually like digging your teeth into a bit more. It's a very subtle thing. It's a very subtle thing that I also caught myself doing quite a lot. And you know, the time that I stopped doing it, I vividly remember that day was when I started seeing the power of backtesting. So I had a brand new idea, but I never used to backtest. But on this specific day, I think it was like around like maybe 9 p.m. in the evening over there, and I was like, damn, let me try backtest this idea instead of keep forward testing it. Because every time I would have a new idea, I would believe like this is it, because I do like a small run through, but I never do like a proper run through it. Then one time I did a whole backtest. I literally sat down and intensively did the backtest. Then I found out that shit, I would have actually wasted time. Like I've been wasting time forward testing, thinking like, oh, today's the day. This is a final piece of the puzzle. No, this is a final piece of the puzzle. Let me tweak this one a little bit here and put this one here. This is a final piece of the puzzle, but it was never the final piece of the puzzle, right? And you waste a lot of time never finding the final piece of the puzzle when you're forward testing things, or when you're operating in this realm of, oh, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, I called that. You know, but where are you executing on it? Like, where's the sample sizing data that you can rely and fall back on to say, I can consistently pull something out of the market using this? Very true. I had to sell from 43.1760 and close at 43 or 66 pips. You're now in a buy. Nice. Yeah, you're in a buy at the bottom of the range here. So market's not going anywhere. So at least for now. Got like a support and we got a resistance. The beautiful thing about trading is we're all going to share the same journey. At least I truly believe we all share the same journey. And what I'm saying, I'm sure you've already experienced yourself, or maybe you're getting to that point where you will experience it. Because again, just like the way I formed my strategy of like putting it into a corner to see all the variables, I think also as a retail trader, and for most of us, we're learning from YouTube University and that sort of thing, there's also a kind of a box that we can find ourselves in somewhat. Like the journey is not going to look exactly the same, but we're going to be operating in the same mental space in a sense. because we all gonna experience it. Doesn't matter what strategy you use, FEG, Fibonacci, breakouts. There's certain things that the market does which neutralizes everybody. So that's where we're gonna have the shared experience in a sense. Gonna neutralize us all like one of those odor sprays. Gonna neutralize. Oh, you think this smells like strawberry? All right, neutralize that. Oh, you think this gonna smell like an apple? All right, let's neutralize that. That's what the market does. It's really good at neutralizing everybody. And that's why it's so important for us to be humble. Super important to be humble. Humble, always willing to learn, see different angles, different perspectives. Because we're in this together. We're fighting together here. The enemy is the market. My stop loss is not your TP. You know, if you think my stop loss is your TP, then you should be on our side. We should be on the same team over here. An enemy of my enemy, what's the old saying go? An enemy of my enemy is my friend. Still my enemy, because you might have a buy one day and I might have a sell. You're still my enemy, but in the grand scheme of things, we're all fighting the same fight here. So how can we defeat the monster? Right? That's the whole idea behind the community. Discord community, the stream, the mentorship, is how can we all defeat this monster? And we all have our own monsters. It's a one monster, but we're gonna face like different battles. The war is the overall monster, but we're all gonna face different battles. Some people are facing a monster battle of FOMO. Some people are facing a monster battle of over-risking, but we're all in the same war. We're just on different parts of the war. Just like in real life war. Some guys are going to be fighting here. They got their own challenges. Some guys are going to be fighting here. They got their own challenges. We're all fighting the same war. So I think that's why this is the best London session stream. And your trading is only going to get better. If it gets worse, then I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Respect, brother. The market is like playing golf. No matter how good you get, you can always get better and also have our asses handed to us. Even Tiger Woods. That's true. That's true. But I think I'm going to call it a day over here, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. And take care. Enjoy this range, I guess. But I'm pretty much done for the day. I will be back tomorrow and we will take it from there. So hope you all well and adios.
Now we bout to dip. My boy said to stay